in the Knights Rivals matchup later on. There's the first pick. We get through the bans. Yeah, this feels like a slam. Yep, that's pretty easy. Let's just give Angel Azir. Why not?
Yeah, so there's no Nico response. I still think that Orianna is the best mid laner on the patch, but Azir is definitely really highly contested, and especially for Angel, we talked about it enough. Just give him a strong team fighter, and Azir kind of covers her for some of his weaknesses by being a self-sufficient laner. Now, instead of the Orianna, which can still be paired up later, they go for the jungle for Junhao and picking up this Jarvan. Jarvan has been going on a tear here in the LPL, so I'm excited to see, especially with something that's going to be threatening that backline.
Two very scary circle ultimates. That's my analysis on the ThunderTalk start. But this is another classic jungle pick to come out here if they do lean towards something like the Xin Zhao. I'd expect a jungle answer. It was either going to be Xin or Wukong in my mind, and my initial thought is this is the same draft I watched all of 2025 for a good reason, except this Yunara that sneaks in. That's a little bit more 2026 style.
Yeah, Yunara's looking good right now. Definitely one of the strongest AD carries, not just because of items, crit changes as well. And in general, I think one of the champions that I would be really trustful of leave, maybe a double-edged sword in that manner, but is going to be a champion that gives him a lot of ability to just stand on mid-wave and try to duel the enemy marksman. So we'll see what that ends up looking like. They were hovering the Aphelios. Aphelios and Corki have been the answers into Yunara, at least in pro play. So I wonder what EDG are going to be looking to take away and what their priority is going to be coming out of this phase of draft.
Definitely depends on how they perceive they can either survive lane or, survive lane, or if they want to protect it. And I don't hate the Aphelios ban. I think Aphelios can make Yunara's life very hard early on, especially now that you see a Lulu ban come across. That's a very common enchanter pairing next to the Yunara. I like this Aphelios ban, but I will point out, very limited sample size for a lot of these ThunderTalk players. Keshi, I think his best game was that game 2 against Edward Gaming. I think he had a couple pretty good looks on this Mbessa diving on to leave. Just the rest of his team couldn't really back it up, and they were in too much of a deficit for it to make the difference.
Oh, Braum. So Braum would have given them 2v2 potential. I really want to see a Nautilus come on through here for ThunderTalk. We already have the makings of a dive composition with this Jarvan and Mbessa, but I think you need just a point-and-click lock for something like Azir later on into the game. Otherwise, how does this team have replicable ways of getting onto the backline? And you know that Alistar is also a potential here. And if Parukia is really feeling special, he can go for a Renata and completely end this game. Xin Zhao, we've also seen that Crescent Guard can knock everybody else away, and that completely throws a wrench in the plan. So I need to see some kind of, like, instant engage support. I don't want to see Alistar. Leona's like second string in that way, but Nautilus is just so consistent.
Yeah, maybe you can make a Rakan argument. I don't know. All right, so they give them his fortune in here. Wow, what a wombo combo comp this is going to be. So regardless who they end up going at support, I feel like now if you want to play for the 2v2, set up the bullet time best, Rel gets a look as well, but I would think Rel's a bit problematic for the rest of this comp.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I think the point you made is really going to sink true here. I think Parukia has the opportunity to really just ruin this ThunderTalk draft.
I mean, he gets first pick here, or he gets to pick like whatever he wants here, so he will get countered in support. Alistar's great. Rel is, like you're mentioning, Rel's just a good takeaway. We're going to have the Zahen pop up in topside. This champion's a little bit weaker in the lane, but once you get out and you're able to be competent in team fights, this champion is really hard to get away from. That being said, there is an Orianna, so I think that EDG are going to have a little bit of a tougher time breaking into fights if they are late to an objective. So I want to see them playing with priority. It's going to be a little bit tougher just because Miss Fortune can kind of move her weight around and do that thing where she just walks with a BT and clears a minion wave in front of you. It'll be tough. We do get that counter matchup that we were looking for in the bottom lane, but I don't think ThunderTalk have very many tools of dealing with an Azir later on. No,
they don't. And even with like Yunara, remember if Yunara transcends, there is a way to jump out of that Cataclysm. Obviously, usually when you're throwing down this Cataclysm, you're hoping that if you do it right, Heru can ult as the Cataclysm comes through, so you get the big burst. But like you mentioned, right, if there's so many ways to ruin this. There's the dashes of this Azir and Yunara. There's also the really good point you made about Crescent Guard. Like, if Xiaohao gets trapped with these carries, he just props the Crescent Guard, and Heru doesn't do any damage. So where's the rest of the damage coming through? The bullet time could get blocked as well. it's like Keshi maybe gets on top of one of them. It's a very problematic approach to this comp for ThunderTalk. Can EDG, the team we have favored in this matchup, we favor to execute their comp better with so many counters, come out on top just like they did the day before.
And as you see on your screen right now, Coach No Name of ThunderTalk and Coach Clear Love came back. The JDG project was not a success by any means.
Nope.
Failed to make Worlds. So he's going to go back to the tried and true. And, you know, the old ball and chain, some would say. So for EDG, let's get ourselves a strong series look, send ourselves to 2-2. Otherwise, ThunderTalk start making this group perseverance very strange.
Super strange, especially after last night's series. I know we talked a lot about EDG and ThunderTalk as they threw down yesterday, but what the hell was Team W and NIP? Well, it could be the series that really murkies up groups for perseverance if ThunderTalk have something surprising in their hands. They'll have to start back on Summoner's Rift for Game 1. Our only look at group perseverance tonight, ThunderTalk EDG. I thought there were going to be more.
I heard them.
Did.
Look, it was more than the OMG LGD series, so I will take it, okay? We're just scaling Gios at this point. We got some here for the series too. JDG, BLG, the arena is going to be packed, I promise, guys. So both junglers starting on the top side. Early vision already being attained here by EDG. Nothing across the river from ThunderTalk so far. So at least they're doing a good job of trying to see if they can find the enemy jungle. But see that trading already, a barrier being burned by Leave.
That's what we call in the business an aura barrier burn.
If he dies early, I'm laughing my ass to the bank, brother.
I'll laugh with you, but the point stands. That's what I'm trying to think would be the reason for it. It does at least get there. I like where it's at least gotten the wave. It's in a little bit of a higher spot here. They should get level 2. I mean, level 1 Alistair is just here to cancel Crashdown. So
if they would have gotten the Crashdown there, then that might have been a summoner spell from Ryan, or at least most of his health gone. So I like the idea there for EDG.
Like you pointed out, with how powerful Misfortune just can be as an oppressive later in wave clear wise, anytime you can get up tempo in this lane for Leave on the Yunara will be nice, as we do the classic trade of both support summoner heals. Once one goes, the other one has to, or you'll die, apparently. So
one of the supports did take Summoner Spellbook, or Unsealed Spellbook, so they'll hopefully will have access to things like Teleport to get around the map. The Barrier and the Cleanse should also be nice. Was given a little bit of praise there to Parukia for getting the mount up on Alistar mid headbutt combo, so he just gets his Aftershock proc, and he also cancels the damage. Junhao is here first. It is on his side of the map. It's just going to be a pretty large wave crash. Don't think there's going to be too much action, but I think we're already starting to see a little bit of an advantage creep up as Leave has about a minion wave's worth of a lead.
Do you like to see the Junhao recognizing where his bottom lane is at, wave state-wise? There's no reason to even go scout out for this bot scuttle. He knew he was going to go Xiaohao's way, so just walking up towards the top side, make sure you get that trade of scuttle crabs, so both junglers going to be in pretty comfortable positions. So I'm curious to see how active they will get on the map. Jarvan and Junhao definitely can make things happen early. They don't rely super on their ultimates in these early stages to make plays. But top side, Junhao doesn't really have much of a look. ZDZ is in a pretty safe spot. But he is going to start moving up towards that way. ZDZ gets very low. Gets the dreaded return.
Jungle is coming. Junhao is almost here, but Junhao, it would take him so long. He probably has to invest his flash if he wants to be a part of this play. Maybe, oh, they know Xiaohao's here. Uh-oh.
Xiaohao is spotted, but now he knows he's been spotted, so the only person who isn't known is Junhao, who's used the lane to walk all the way up, get the flag and drag on his EDZ. I think he dies. No reason to burn the flash here. Really creative gank setup there from Junhao to get ThunderTalk on the board first.
400 gold going over to Junhao. The jungle camps are also going to be nice as they are respawning. Opens up a small advantage here for Keshi. Thankfully for ZDZ, he can teleport immediately back to this wave. And before all of this was happening, that recall we saw from Leave, he took a little bit of a cheater here. He comes back to lane, even in CS, with the wave pushing into him. He has a call now, so I think Leave and EDG are going to be looking to play a little bit of a longer game, obviously, with the champs that they have. A great punish there from ThunderTalk, though, does give them a small lead here.
I think Cole is one of the best items, especially for that Yunara, for how she wants to play the game. So I'm definitely someone that subscribes to very often getting that one picked up, and good to see Leaf subscribes to that idea as well. So with that short 800 gold burst, how can ThunderTalk keep pushing this? Well, you've got a Chemtech Dragon in about 10 seconds, and the way these jungle clears are going, I think it will be both of them kind of arriving towards this bot skull at the same time if they like, so bottom lane's coming out about the same time. Maybe we can see another skirmish here on the bot river.
This scuttle is really important here because it gets both junglers a little bit closer to 6. I think if Junhao gets this, though, he does just proc over and gets his ultimate here. He's going to recall instead. It looks like he has a tunneler on his recall, same as Jarvan. So we won't get the immediate clash of our two junglers. We're getting a top lane scuttle, though.
He wants to play another game of top lane chicken. Keshi's still holding on to his, but I don't think he wants a reason to turn. ZZ held his flash just to go for that look. Doesn't get the knock up or anything, so Keshi kind of just mogs him.
Keshi still has ultimate. He's also chugging through those refillables right now. And that'll just be a small summoner 1 here. Uh-oh.
All right, good peel there for Parukia. Both junglers are nearby. Xiaohao does not have first turn, though. Neither holding ultimate either. That will be a decent chunk on to leave. Does
That's
give
the
Xiaohao
scuttle, though.
Yeah, first track towards that scuttle.
Oh!
Let's see if let's test your theories here. See if he gets maybe over to level 6.
Wait a
Junhao
minute,
does have
Junhao!
level 6.
Yeah.
You get off the wave. Now he uses the Cataclysm on a Parukia. Ryan's coming over. Xiaohao, though, has the Crescent Guard off the Scuttle Crab. Knocks Feather away from him. Gets exhausted. Angels try to desperately come over here as Ryan is out of mana. Parukia is down first. Xiaohao re-engages. Feather going to go down. Leave dropping many autos, but it's the Shuriman Shuffle that doesn't do enough. It still gets Ryan that double kill as he chases Leave down. The difference a couple minions make.
Wow, I mean, Junhao had the level 6 beforehand, and while it ended up being an equal trade, that bottom lane fight that preempts all of this makes it a lot easier for ThunderTalk. They have the health bars, and they just have the resources. Remember, we saw that EDG, they invested the heal a little bit early on. We go back into this fight, and this is an easy turn. Angel is trying to stop the Orianna from moving first, but all of this damage that Junhao got onto Parukia makes it an uneven fight. The bottom lane is already moved. I don't know how Leave is second here to the play, but he loses the wave, he loses this play, and ThunderTalk come out massively ahead here.
I also don't know about Leave's pathing there. Why is he going up the river instead of taking the path from the Tri-Brush? Because then he ends up flashing over the Fat Wall when he could have just walked that way and not have actually had to flash. Definitely been head-scratching, and something that ThunderTalk could go ahead and punish again, right? I mean, Leave doesn't have flash. He'll have the Transcendence to maybe try and dash out of a Cataclysm, but that is a valuable summoner on the marksman, off the marksman nonetheless.
Look at this. Let's use control through mid. Orianna immediately drops into Fog of War. Doesn't turn into too much, but I'm looking at the bottom side jungle in our mini-map here, and it is entirely blue and control wards for ThunderTalk. There is very little vision right now in the river, so EDG, recognizing that they're down tempo, down spells onto their opponents, they're not allowed to play for this. I think ThunderTalk should feel more than happy with going towards this dragon and looking for a fight. Orianna Shockwave is up, and you have Junhao with that Cataclysm ready to go.
And on top of that, the difference in the itemization for that first path legendary item that these AD carries are going to pick up, I know they don't have them yet, but components-wise, Ryan's got a BF Sword pickaxe versus this Hearthbound axe and a bow. Like, the damage difference between Leave and Ryan right now is disgusting.
He's got the entire kit. He's got a bow, and then he's got the actual arrow, even though I know the Hearthbound axe isn't actually an arrow. But it looks like one. He's got the arrowhead. ThunderTalk, they're first on the river. Heru, this is impossible for EDG. Especially, I'm looking at Angel's position. He's nowhere able to get into this fight.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Probably go after Ryan. He has to flash away as Parukia is going to catch him out. Leave gets the angle. Arc of Ruin should pick up the kill. Dragon secured for ThunderTalk. Feather has the Unbreakable Will pop, but he's getting broken one way or another. Let's just see how many autos it takes from Leave to finally secure this kill. It's Xiaohao that will get it instead. ThunderTalk have to pay a pretty high toll for that first dragon that they really shouldn't have had to.
Yeah, Feather, let's just calm down. We don't have to look for that fight there. Grim Deliverance from ZDZ turns into still more damage there. Yeah, sure. I mean, he gets the wave and he'll probably TP back to this top lane. But going back to the dragon, ThunderTalk, you said they paid a high price. I think they paid a little bit too much on that one. There's Feather walking forward, and then Ryan flashing and still dying? I don't know, man. That's a really steep price to pay for that. And we're not even going to have guaranteed priority for these grubs coming up in a few. We have both of the supports already kind of making their way into mid lane, but it seems like with both Xiaohao and where he's positioning, and also that Angel is leaning towards the bottom side, this does allow for ThunderTalk to continue to run over it. More than likely is probably due to the fact that Keshi is winning this top side matchup.
Sitting on the highest gold difference in the game right now. We talked about how Keshi showed some pretty positive signs just a day ago on this Ambessa. So good to see some ThunderTalk members with such a fresh squad. We talked about the graphic, how many, how low some of these players' tier 1 reps number is. They're starting to, show some consistent signs, some champions that they can consistently go to. And that does seem like a small thing for a lot of teams, but it's a big step for a squad like ThunderTalk with so many different people coming in to play for this org in 2026.
Yeah. No, the only holdover right now is Feather, and we were thinking maybe it would be another year of 1xN on this team. Doesn't end up being likely.
Promoted.
So EDG now just moving Parukia around the map, getting Xiaohao some camps to steal. I think this is not a 2v2 you are looking forward to if you are EDG. If you can try to avoid Orianna plus Jarvan, that's probably for the better. But Angel can move over, and there's a mid wave that is being threatened right now. Ryan.
Arc of Ruin slow, gets the passive out of Ryan, but the W gets him that speed up right back. The strut gets him out. I mean, you just got kit diffed right there, Leave. That's why people click Misfortune a lot of the time.
Oh my god, look, how broken is this? She has 1,000,000 shields, and she has the Eclipse, so
she's gonna die,
Keshi.
right? Oh, misses the public execution. It doesn't even
Keshi.
matter. I mean, that's disgusting damage out of Keshi. Ew.
Yeah, ZDZ's face was like, damn, okay, I didn't think I'd get clapped like that. 0-2 down. We talked about it in the draft. If this Hen can get out of lane, then it's okay, but it's a little bit of a weaker champion early on. We see that Keshi is completely slamming this now. 1,500 gold lead, also completed his quest already, so he's getting even more experience. He's up 2 levels right now. This will be medicated by the fact that ZDZ will hit 1 minion and be level 10, but I mean, Ambessa's getting even more experience now, just flatly, thanks to the quest.
How much can that help ThunderTalk with this comp that we feel like the main meat and potatoes of it has a lot of ways to get spoiled with this Misfortune, the Jarvan, and the Orianna, the Crescent Guard block we talked about, the dashes available to these carries. If you got Keshi running wild in the background because everyone's worried about these ultimate combinations, that might just be the secret sauce for ThunderTalk to come away with something they haven't done yet. And that is a win over EDG. Currently about 1,000 gold up. So where do we look to push this next? They have Dragon stacking on their side as well. Got a Hextech Drake coming in about a minute. I feel like that's where most plays will come unless Parukia makes the play. Magnet Storm, crash down. Ryan definitely trying to run away. The Arc of Ruin slow is there, but Feather does a great job peeling Parukia off his AD carry, and they survive the all-in.
Super MVP performance there from Feather. Just completely biffs the play there for EDG. Ryan's still going to collect this wave. You got a barrier out of Ryan, but now you're going to be missing 2 ultimates 40 seconds before the Dragon. EDG, they wanted to ham fist some priority in the bottom lane. Now is the time that they have to be able to pay off on it. Are they going to steal camps? Yeah, we're going for a red buff invade on the bottom side.
Okay, I mean, hey, top lane's a wash, so got to go to the other side of the map. They do steal away that red buff. Junhao's going to have some camps to clear. Ryan gets back out onto the Rift with a Bloodthirster, and double longsword, so going to have a lot of just brunt firepower behind that bullet time. Parukia's taking a reset now. Is Grim Deliverance once again for ZZ, just used to clear waves to make sure he isn't under threat from Keshi any longer. Feels like EDG are giving up a lot of space as this Drake spawns on the bot side.
And Keshi was looking for it. He's like, is he going to keep backing? Because if he's standing within range, maybe a public execution comes down his way. ZDZ's not going to use a teleport. I think they know that this Dragon is something that EDG are looking to play for. Honestly, if I'm Keshi, I get my plate, I recall, and then I'm looking to teleport for this bottom side. I'm looking at the mini-map right now. ThunderTalk are all in position around this Dragon, and for me, it's going to be about, can we protect Heru and Ryan 3? We get the first turret here at 14 minutes. He's going to recall and be super strong. I don't think EDG can fight.
I mean, he's
TPing first.
He's TPing first. Feather! Oh, the shockwave whiffs. They try to use the Alistar to deliver it. They at least get themselves a dragon. So that's a win for ThunderTalk. Junhao goes in, but there's the Emperor's Divide. Keshi flies in the back with Public Execution. Angel, does he have enough protection? The shields are gross from Keshi, and he's eating up a ton of trade damage. But he has to flash away from these here.
Parukia!
Xiaohao's going to re-engage with Crescent Guard. Parukia on the back end of the fight gets a huge crash down Magnet Storm that allows Leave to step up and throw down the Gatling gun. Auto after auto, ruining this TT play. Gets another slow. Parukia throws Heru back into his team, but sacrifices himself as Ryan does find a trade back. But TT showed why we were worried about their comp into EDG's peel right there.
ThunderTalk, just take the small wins, guys. Like, we just teleported our top laner into this play before he recalled. ZDZ gets access to 2 plates top lane. That's a massive swing of gold, and you see right there, Feather uses that unsealed spellbook to try to use the teleport, maybe as a monster flank versus ZDZ, but there's no shockwave. I don't know if they have the damage to deal with him.
Okay, well, there's one set of spells through for Heru. ZDZ already down about half HP. He feels pretty defeated about it, but can walk on out. Like you said, no shockwave, no problem. ZDZ get into his weak side king era as we look back at this overextension from TT.
As soon as Keshi teleports, I can tell that for TT, they're saying, we need a fight. Especially if you're Keshi, I have a 30% HP shield. Why not? I have the HP to play for it, but this is way too far. We know that on the other side that Parukia's behind him. Come back to life?
No, he's getting caught by Xiaohao and Angel. Don't know how that play started, but definitely seeing ThunderTalk showing signs of a team looking to clean things up like side lane allocation.
That's a big portion of the lead. For him, though, it's not bad for the 1v1 because the Hen is still down 1,500 gold, but EDG are getting turret plates, and it's going over to the Azir. We talked a lot about how Angel is an amazing team fighter. He's going to be on Azir with an expedited 2-item power spike coming through, so the gold lead that ThunderTalk had is evaporating at this point, and really the only thing that they have going for them is this dragon. Now, they did get the Herald thanks to them playing on the top side of the map. If they can grab some turret plates in mid lane, I'll feel a lot more confident about their ability to play for this objective in 2.5 minutes.
See off that last fight, we talked about from Angel what he gets him, but Leave picking up that double kill, finishing off that Cole, the investment paying off here. He's already got those Fiend Hunter bolts secured. And it's just such a heavy acceleration for this Yunara that relies so heavily on team fighting with 3 items plus as soon as she can. Already seeing the power dynamic kind of shift a bit, it feels like, between these AD carries.
Yeah, Leave has so much more agency when you're playing Misfortune. You are allowed to kind of bully your opponent, especially in lane. But with the Fiend Hunter bolts, it becomes a lot less enticing to walk up versus a Yunara 1v1 in that lane. Now they're getting plates on the other side of the map. This is good as a response, but I'm a little bit confused here by EDG. We're putting a lot of weight into top side. Yeah. It seems like they wanted to get some gold back here for ZDZ, but he was already half a level up on his opponent because Keshi spent so much time in side lane. Are we not going to be contesting for this dragon? Like, we need to be moving now. Parukia's going to come back out of the map. This is the next 45 seconds. If EDG are not getting vision down, I'm a little bit worried about them walking into the pit here.
Well, some people may, scoff at a Cloud Soul. It's important to, contextualize that soul into the team that could be the ones to reap the rewards. I'm pretty scared if I'm EDG of an Alistar holding on to Ghost, or not Ghost, Cloud Soul, but most importantly,
basically Ghost.
Yeah, it's basically Ghost, right? So Cloud Soul on like an Alistar looking for engages, like Junhao, especially Keshi. Giving Cloud Soul to a team that wants to dive you is a pretty scary prospect, even if you don't think of Cloud Soul as highly as some of the other ones we have in the game.
Seeing the deploys right now as Heru teleports into the Tri-Brush. Again, great setup here from ThunderTalk before an objective. All of the wards are in great spots. You have control of the river alongside the Scuttle, and control of mid is always going to be easy because we still have the Herald. This is going to be a niche thing, and I don't know how much time we'll have to talk about it, but there's a lot of movement speed buffs in this game. Jarvan's standard is going to give attack speed to nearby allies. There are Bandle Pipes completed by Feather, so that's just flat 30% attack speed buff to everyone around him. I think that there's a very real likelihood that some of the carries here are going to be able to eke out a little bit more than their opponents. We'll see in this upcoming fight. Herald is being spawned now as ThunderTalk look for the mid turret.
doesn't have enough damage from Shelly herself to get the mid-tier 1 down. Do they feel comfortable stepping up? They're looking for the dive.
Oh.
There's the shockwave delivered from a Cataclysm. Leaf didn't have a shot in hell to even move or click out of that combo before his screen goes gray. And Parukia, his sidekick, is going to have to pay the price as well. There's how you use that combo, TT, with EDG separated. And now they've earned themselves Cloud Soul Point as we crest the 20-minute mark.
Sad thing for me, I look at leave, flash, barrier up, I'm pinging that in the chat, and we're saying, what's going on? We lost our mid-turret, and we lose the Dragon. Now, Soul Point here at 20 minutes in this game. ThunderTalk are in a fantastic spot to close this one out. Now we need to be able to see them, because EDG have had a few games here in Group Perseverance so far in 2026 that have been a little shaky. It's why they've been starting off the season 0-2.
Look at Keshi just shrug off an entire CDZ combo and turn it right on its head. They're going to wait out re-engaging until his passive gets lower. That dash gets him out of the public execution range. So that's the only real blunder, but it's not getting any easier to deal with Keshi one-on-one if you're EDG.
And Keshi, if he lands that, in fairness to EDG, the Azir was kind of in the area. This was just an engage. Okay, this one I'm a little... Okay, I'll be a little more charitable to leave because the engage was actually onto Parukia, and that's what gave Feather the ability of getting onto the enemy AD carry, but that's tough. And as long as the replay is telling me the truth, Leave's flash also wasn't available during that. So, a very tough sequence for EDG to survive. ThunderTalk come out the victors for it with a 2,000 gold lead. And now it's all eyes on what's going to happen in the next 3 minutes if EDG can kind of lapse some of this gold lead. I'm looking at Angel. He's been the guy that's been untouched this entire game.
He's got himself 2 items in the bank, but you need more time with this Azir. Yunar still waiting on some pretty big completions to be a true scaling threat as well. Try to make a look to see if they can catch any straggler recalls from ThunderTalk on the top side. None to be found there. And Alk, one thing I can't believe I skipped over while talking about Cloud Soul. I gassed up a Jarvan and Mbessa and Alistar running at people. Misfortune was strut up in Cloud Soul might move 1,000 miles a minute as well.
Yeah, she gets a lot of mileage during her ultimate, so we'll see if Ryan can continue to be as dominant as he has so far. I mean, 5-1, pretty impressive. We've kind of shirked away and talking around these two, but especially for Ryan, I think it would be massive. Not only would it be TT's first win, which maybe we just have a historic amount of firsts today with OMG also winning their first game, but for them, I mean, being able to stand up to leave, exactly. For Ryan, I'm thinking like, this is your first time here in the LPL. Can you play up against one of the, I think, more touted, exciting prospects and leave? You have a pretty good name built up for yourself in that manner.
I will say, I'm not pushing this onto Ryan, but it's just this funny, like, super niche thing. I feel like Misfortune, like, I've seen so many Misfortunes have like 5+ kills out of an early stage game and then lose. Like, higher than any other AD carry. It's something that's stuck in my... Alright, Feather's getting chased down here. Knock up, it's going to use the exhaust on a Xiaohao. They don't really have a lot of innate damage to get through Alistar with the Unbreakable Will, but hey, they do get a TP out of Keshi. They do get the Alistar ult out for very little. So that's a win for EDGs. The Baron is chilling, watching all this action go down.
I am okay with this. I'm kind of okay with this. If you're EDG, you're sad you didn't get the kill, but you did just get 2 teleports out from ThunderTalk. So pushing on the top side of the map is really important. Maybe finding Keshi is the way you get back into this game. Any picks right now turn into a Baron. You have an Azir with 2 items. This could be something you look to turn on and just wait for Leaf to join the fight. A minute and a half before this soul. ThunderTalk, I don't think we need to look for anything right now.
EDG are going to respect that snap combo. They can throw on anyone. Feather's going to go in. There's public execution. They're going to burn everything on his EDC. Grim Deliverance doesn't even come out. Parukia, crash flag down. Magnet Storm comes across. There's the Crest Guard from Xiaohao as he gets on top of Ryan. And look at Angel fly all the way after the AD carry, but he turns it on his head with a bullet time that smashes him down before he gets straight out. Xiaohao's going to fall to try and find that trade as the fight splits out onto 2 fronts, and we go an even 3-for-3.
Oh, but well, what else can ThunderTalk actually push you? Heru's going to find Parukia.
All right, good little stun. Heru's going to flash away. Nearly has no damage and snipes away Parukia as he runs out of the jungle to make it a winning fight for ThunderTalk.
It's a far away, a Steph Curry command dissonance puts Parukia in the ground. We'll look back at this fight, but the entire time we're here in this replay, I'm thinking Dragon spawning in 30, Dragon spawning in 25, and while this fight is going on, I'm looking at all the flashes that ThunderTalk are using for this. EDG, they survived for a hell of a lot of time, and if it wasn't for Leave on the backline getting taken away out of frame thanks to Keshi, I do feel like EDG had a really good time here in this fight. They're going to be walking into this next one with no flash on MF, no flash on Orianna, and zero playmaking potential on the top side of the map for ThunderTalk.
Yeah, dumping everything onto the 0-2 Zahen, not really beneficial. Junhao, that flag and drag, very, very risky into the fog. Doesn't get punished too heavily. We'll be able to eat up on some melons, and resets start to come across towards these battle lines that are being drawn. Angel will recoup back with EDG on the bot side of the ring of our heavyweight bout at this Cloud Drake, and it's EDG to start things up. TT need to be aware of this Parukia flank, though. He's coming across, and he has a marked Ryan. But where's the follow-up? Parukia goes all by himself. He's trying to stall for the dragon, and he sacrifices himself for that. Xiaohao grabs it. Shockwave, public execution, throws all TT to the background. Good flash from Leave, though, to get away from Junhao's Cataclysm. That is a frame-perfect flash to get EDG's AD carry, and now Angel gets to fly in with a huge Emperor's Defy. Ryan turns back with a bullet time, then it's gonna fall flat. There are the Edward Gaming carries, standing up tall, acing home ThunderTalk.
Angel was the key piece of this fight. He had been untouched for most of this, and while he went down in that last play, it was all on ThunderTalk to force a play onto Azir. We go into that dragon fight. I mean, multiple different things. I can't wait to dive into the replay on that one. But a Baron as well being won by EDG.
What a turn. You could hear the sort of sounds, the worries that so many EDG fans had showing up in this game one until this fight. Oh, Feather.
Now, Parukia, look, flashes over this. I want to give presence to Xiaohao, use the Crescent Guard to force out members of ThunderTalk. And from here on out, I mean, the play is kind of over. This was a good flash from Leave to punish Junhao from jumping into the backline. But that's all the damage there. And these solo lanes for EDG are now tanky enough, and they have the damage to fight Ryan. Ryan, I don't think you can throw down the bullet time. I know it's a last-ditch effort to get yourself some kills. Let's not lose our minds, though. Every dragon can still be a soul here for ThunderTalk if they're able to secure them. Just now turns into a 3,000 gold lead thanks to that Baron giving them over half of it.
Yeah, and where does that gold really hurt? We'll get to see it after we get to say hello to the Shy. That is it's going to be a 4-item Leave Yunara and Azanya's 3-item Angel.
Oh, no.
So it's even harder now to get the best value out of bullet time for ThunderTalk.
If ThunderTalk lose this game, it's going to be the most tragic review because they had such a good early start into this game. I thought their team fights were sound. I think setup was good. Angel!
Oh my god, Angel parts the base of ThunderTalk open, but he goes to the station. That Crescent Guard from Xiaohao is going to buy enough time for Angel to fall before Ryan can take him out. Keshi now gets to fly in. Feather gets cut down, and it's going to be the EDG bottom lane, but Parukia is going to go down next. Leave, you're going to have a highlight play 1 versus 3, or ThunderTalk are going to turn this game on its head, wiping everybody but CDZ off the map.
Angel looks for what is the hero play, and that kind of biffs it in some portions. I will not lie, the trade is not bad. You still get the mid-tier 3 turret, and there's no longer a flash on Heru. So that is going to be what I'm going to be looking for as EDG to try to punish. Otherwise, that was a good way to kind of take a chomp out of Crime and take all of that gold away from EDG. As this Baron, we'll look again at Angel just flying all the way into TT's base. Almost becomes maybe the inhibitor turret himself. The Crescent Guard is good. Blocks most of the damage from Ryan, but look at where Leave is. Leave is like, I can't stack anything for Transcendence. I can't do anything on this one. And while this was an ambitious public execution from Keshi, I still think that just forcing the issue and punishing, especially because ZDZ did not have teleport going into that play. So again, Slayer, we go right back into the pit. Dragon spawns in a minute and a half, and a soul is still on the cards here for ThunderTalk.
So huge that they win that skirmish, mainly to make sure They don't have to deal with super minions down that mid lane. Miss Fortune can have a lot better of a time clearing out these waves, making sure they're in pretty decent shape, like you called out, for that dragon. They'll come in about a minute now. No TP advantage for either side. Both mid laners will have access to theirs as this dragon comes up, so expect Heru and Angel to be duking it out a bit in this top side, but gotta respect the flank of any sort of Junhao feather shenanigans, and Angel will do so for now.
That's beautiful. I'm glad that we showed the Durag stat for that one. 38 gold earned at the end of that Baron. That's not great. That's less than. Well, actually, that's almost the amount that you would get for. It's less than health bot. It's almost as much as a control ward if you have support quest done. But 30 seconds. Again, I'm looking at vision. Good setup so far, but not enough that I think it is enticing for ThunderTalk to walk forward. Also, again, Heru still no flash going into this play. So while it might hurt and we might still see them fight for it, I do think that ThunderTalk should be trying to prioritize controlling the mid lane wave, and we'll worry about the dragon when we have a summoner spell back for us.
There are a lot of denials to the innate burst potential of both of these comps now. You have Zhonya's on both mid laners. You have a GA on ZDZ with his revive. Junhao's got a GA to himself, so these fights are naturally going to extend a lot more no matter what, and that plays a lot better into the hands of Angel. Plays a lot better in the hands of Lee. Can TT cut down the angle? Angel gets caught. Shockwave Cataclysm. He's going to go in Zhonya's, but he doesn't flash out of the bullet time. Angel goes down first.
Keshi!
He's going to grab Leave, and he immediately tries to flash out, but he goes down. Keshi with the clutch plays on his patented Bessa again. CDZ goes into the GA, but he's immediately knocked up, skybound, and it's all down to the top laner for EDG. The Grim Deliverance, the revive, it's all just prolonging the inevitability of ThunderTalk wiping a late game team fight, and they're gonna look to march down mid lane to shock the very team that swept them a day ago.
Oh my god, wait a minute. So OMG win their first game and their first series, the series before this, and now ThunderTalk will do the same here in Group Perseverance. They're gonna win their first game up against a team in Edward Gaming they just played last night.
The death timers, they're a little close. Parukia
they're gonna go for
desperately waiting. Angel's up in 3. Leave mere seconds behind him. Can they hold? Have ThunderTalk overextended? Angel's here. Here comes Leave. Parukia to re-engage. The turret's still pretty healthy. Junhao with the shockwave on to Leave. Gets the Cataclysm down, but he goes into the GA.
Wait a minute.
Leave is going to stay alive until Keshi flies into the background trying to find the trade kill. Turret's going to go down. Angel still stands tall.
That's
Xiaohao gets cut down through the Cataclysm, and there's a huge public execution that is just enough to put the bow on top. ThunderTalk win game 1. Revenge on their mind over Edward Gaming.
Look, EDG 2-0'd them last night. Are we going to see a pretty massive upset? We came into this with a lot of high hopes here that EDG would take the series, and still a lot of time left here for that to happen. But this is the second round robin now. You don't get a second chance at facing them, and I think a 1-3 start for Edward Gaming almost assuredly locks them out of making, I mean, the top half of the playoff bracket.
Yeah, and if I'm not maybe I don't want to get too much into that, but now if they go 1-3, like, maybe you go from that night's, the night tournament where you might have to play a Group Ascend team pretty soon on, right? Because if you get low in the Group Perseverance, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking a little too far ahead of myself, Log.
So the way that it works, I know, if you're lower in Perseverance, you're going to play Group Nirvana, and then you have to play 2 best of 5s to make it in.
So you have to get an extra one, okay, yeah.
If you're the top half, you don't have to worry about that. Perseverance and 1 and 2 seeds will get at least one playoff. They only play 1 best of 5, but they can sing in a lower bracket. Again, little far from now. We don't have to worry about that. What I'm more excited about is that ThunderTalk is winning games.
Yeah, it's ThunderTalk. You talked about it, right? This is the best scenario for both teams. You play a team yesterday, you have immediate tape, you know the styles, and I mean, through one game, ThunderTalk prepped better. How else do you describe this?
The prep was, it's hard to enumerate on what their prep was, but the setup was good. There was that one really tragic mid-game fight that I think we could have came back to if we saw this as an EDG win and be like, that's the moment where they would have won the game. But TT, they held on, they kept their advantage, and we just had solid team fighting. That was a very easy to execute composition. Jarvan, Orianna, let them run wild, go straight into the back line.
Yeah, and for EDG, you know, how many of those improvement plan points did we not focus on EDG? I will say, actually, funnily enough, I don't think a lot of these were too applicable to this game. I think leave position decently. Like, the only time he gets caught was because of Parukia. I think Parukia's like the one time that he went super ham on an engage by himself. It was actually to sacrifice so that they could get a dragon to stop Soul Point, so it was kind of worth. And then they tried to play for Angel, but I think Angel's actually the one that kind of ruined that last fight.
Yeah, Angel flying in underneath the inhibitor turret, a
that
little
too, right?
dicey. That makes it really tough. The solo lanes just got gapped this game. Like, you cannot play this Zahen champion into a stronger laner, even with some of the nerfs that Best has gotten. And Angel just had a very quiet game. He is a great team fighter, but he doesn't have the same explosivity that we expect from some of our top players, and obviously then messed up and threw the game, kind of. Like, we countered through because we were already in a good spot. They threw towards us, and we're like, we don't actually want the W. Take it back.
They were so hell-bent on being the new team to throw themselves forward that they realized they failed to realize that all they really had to do a lot of this game was kind of survive that initial shock engage, and they could play out the rest of these fights. Like Lethal Tempo Azir, Yunara, these two carries love Zahen. These carries love extended fighting, and you'll see it in some of these fights. They do end up winning. They played too much with their gold at the end of that game one. So it ends up costing them as we get to look back at some of these pretty close fights. And right now we'll see how the pendulum starts swinging a bit more back into EDG's favor, especially this extended bout.
Hey, you said right there, you were like, hey, Parukia, sometimes you don't always have to go in for, 3-man engages, but that time we'll give him a pass.
Yeah, because it staved off Soul, right?
Yeah, it staved off Soul. It also made that the carries on TT were not in a good spot. This was one of the good sweeps, but I have to say, I'm sure that EDG were saying, like, hey, we had stronger lanes. If Zahen wasn't behind, if we had, maybe a better support matchup, maybe it gets easier.
We don't have to go for this.
I mean, yeah, we have Baron. We have range. We can just wait. Like, it always comes down to that same, like, explanation or kind of, like, metaphor that, like, if you could extend your life by just waiting, if you have a gun to your head and if you wait 5 minutes, the likelihood that the gun goes off goes down like 30%, you take it every time. You just wait for the 5 minutes. You don't have to do anything.
Yeah. I mean, and what were we getting on ThunderTalk for when they were in the lead, right? Going for too much, trying to push the envelope a bit too much further. We need to hold EDG to the same accountability, even more so, because this is a team that has a lot more players. I mean, we showed the, what was it, the ZDZ Angel graphic, like 900 plus games in Tier 1 versus 91 or something. Like, you got to be better than that, EDG.
You have almost 100x the amount of games that these guys have in Tier 1 between the two of you. But, we're back to the drawing board, and for ThunderTalk, I was a little worried that review was going to be sad because that fight around Dragon was really disappointing. There we go. Now we're in a better spot.
It's like 90x, by the way.
Just round up. Just round up.
Fair enough.
ThunderTalk. Man, I'm excited now because I was really ready for a 2-0 EDG, and we'll just get into JDG BLG. I'm sure there's fans at home right now that are like, God damn it, I have to wait another game.
That's true. Somebody check on Mark Rafa, wherever he is. Not doing well, brother. I know he's not out there. Player of the game, though, Mr. Dimitri. Who do you gift it to? Because I think there's two clear options.
I think it could be Keshi. I think it could be probably Junhao. I think that his Jarvan was really good. But Keshi, he stomped his lane. And then he also won, multiple fights with his best. We're giving it to Ryan. All right. Look.
No, man.
The bullet times were good. Look.
No. He didn't have to do anything. He didn't have to do anything. He's playing Misfortune. He presses R and Mbessa goes like multi-kills people.
If that was that simple, then we wouldn't be seeing this champion. Then, you know, some other people shouldn't be deserving MVPs. I don't make the rules,
All
man.
I don't either. But I'm an AD carry flaming and AD carry MVP pick. If that doesn't tell you enough, I don't know what will. But what a refreshing breath or gust of air coming into our group perseverance matchup here. ThunderTalk. You know, they caught the proverbial win. They bobbled it a little bit, and then they, you know, secured the catches. They went to the ground, unlike some Bills wide receivers. ThunderTalk come across with a Game 1 win. We'll see if Edward Gaming can stop the slide before they see themselves at the bottom half of group perseverance. Game 2 will be a big indicator of that. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break for that game.